What made me go from this? If you are someone that likes to blend, I cannot recommend this paper enough. Oh my gosh. To this. Come along with me on the roller coaster that is this off-brand Pastelmat paper. You will see the things I liked about it and the things that I struggled with that ultimately led me to give it a thumbs down. Hey everybody! So today we are going to be trying out Pastelmat paper, but you might be thinking of this Pastelmat, and that's not the Pastelmat I'm talking about. So there is another brand that you can buy on Amazon that uses the same name. The pads are the same size, but they are very different in price. So the Clairefontaine that we all know and love is priced around $55 for 12 sheets, whereas this other brand, Somime, is half the price. It's $25, $26 for 12 sheets. So I'm going to give it a test today. We're going to see how it performs and how it compares to the regular Pastelmat. All right, so let's take a look at the paper. So it comes in a pad. It's perfect bound, just like the Clairefontaine. And it has glassine between the pages. It's nice, heavy paper. I think it's slightly heavier than the Clairefontaine paper. And there's two different packs of colors. I got this one that has a light gray, sand beige, warm taupe, sage green, ivory, and misty blue. And then they have one that is different colors. I don't know off the top of my head, but all of these colors are a little bit lighter than what most of the other colored papers from other brands come in. They're just a little bit lighter. But I like the colors. I'm not really a big user of colored papers all the time, but I like the lighter colors here. I think they would be more useful to me. All right, so to give this a true test, I am going to wet the paper, just like I do for a lot of my other paintings, where I put an underpainting down and then use alcohol. All right, so I've never used this paper before. Right away, I'm noticing like a texture. Let me zoom in on that. Hopefully you can see. It's like it almost looks digital. Like you see, it kind of looks pixely. It's very interesting, but we'll see, you know, as I start to, so this is just one layer. Over here, I've put down 2 or maybe even 3 swipes with the stick, and you can see it's covering up, but we'll see how it blends and if that's visible at the end. All right, so I'm just gonna get enough on here. All right, so that was a Rembrandt Pastel. And I'm going to use my usual sticks for this, and I'll let you know as I go what I'm using. All right, so I'm using rubbing alcohol. I think this is a 98% or 92%. I use the higher percent just so it dries faster. All right, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll be back in a second. All right, guys, I'm back. It is dry, but I'm going to zoom in again and show you kind of the speckling that is still there. So you can still see, oops, this is hard. My camera doesn't know what to focus on my finger here. All right, so you can still see that texture. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny grid. But it is definitely visible. Now, again, we'll see what happens as I start putting paint on here. All right, so I'm just gonna put in kind of a basic layout here, or composition, I should say. I'm using, still using Rembrandts just for my base layers. And that grid is super obvious. As the tooth fills in, though, it might not be as obvious. There's a lot of papers that we use that have a texture, so I'm not immediately like turned off by this. It's just something to note, you know, it's just a feature of the paper. So we'll see kind of, you know, how it goes as I put this down. Just getting my darks in. Okay, so first thing, the surface is coming off. Now, nowhere on here does it say that it's wet friendly. So that's just something to know. If you're going to, if you need to use water or alcohol, definitely don't use this paper. All right, so now I'm switching to my regular pastels. So this is a Jack Richardson. So it's laying down really nice. I do like the feel of the paper with the creamier pastels. Now as I put this one down, now the grid is coming back. So let me see if I blend what happens. Really, really easy to blend on this paper. Put a few clouds in our sky. Of course, I go much deeper into all the techniques I use in this lesson inside my Pastel Growth Studio on Patreon. My members not only get full lessons, but also full product evaluations, step-by-step how-tos for your most pressing pastel questions, fun monthly challenges, and behind-the-scenes looks. I would love to welcome you to the family. I'm offering a 7-day free trial, and it's only $5 a month after that. I'll put the link in the description. Gotta fluff the clouds. Blending on this paper is amazing. It's so much easier to blend than probably any paper I've ever used. It almost, I mean, it's so smooth. But the tooth is nice. It's taking the pastel really well. All right, so far I'm actually liking it. I can still see the little texture, but from 2 feet back, I can't see it at all. So unless you're creating a painting that's intended to be viewed right up close, I don't know that the texture is really that much like off-putting. See if I can get it to show up here on this camera. It's really having a hard time focusing. There we go. So you can still see it, but again, you have to be really, really close to see it. So I'm not too worried about it. But I do, like I said, I love how it's blending out. Okay. Get some of our distant trees and hills in here. If you are someone that likes to blend, I cannot recommend this paper enough. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm just gonna work my way forward now. Too bad this little tear is here. So just remembering that as we get further back in our landscape, our subject matter is going to get cooler and lighter. So as we come forward, we need it to get warmer and darker. So that's what I'm doing here with these greens and grays, is just kind of creating this feeling of this all heading off into the distance and then eventually getting to this very grayish green. All right, so notice I'm using horizontal strokes in the back and more vertical strokes in the front. And that's to help our eye understand that there's distance happening here. All right, so we have some little hills kind of back there. So it feels like our light is coming from the left. So that's why we're getting this nice lightness on this side of our hill. So I have another little tear starting right there. So my pastel is also picking up a lot of the pastels underneath. So watch right here. All right, so it's picking up that pastel underneath. So see how it's leaving this border? And then watch when I make my next stroke. See the dark green? So that is one thing I hate about papers that do this. This makes it really, really hard to get, like, you know, kind of smooth transitions because you're fighting that underlayer. So one thing you can do to help that is to wipe off your pastel between every stroke. So see how the dark green is on there? So if you wipe it off between each stroke, see how it's picking up so much of that green? You can help kind of mitigate that. So again, it's not the end of the world, it's just a little inconvenient, and it can kind of mess with your flow if you just want to come in here and paint. Instead, now you gotta wipe off your sticks with each stroke that you make. All right, so I have a little bit of a cooler green I'm gonna put in the back here. Yeah, every stroke I'm putting down, I'm having to kind of clean my stick off, which is a pain. All right, I can already tell that I'm not really liking this paper. But I'm gonna finish the painting. I'm not gonna put a ton of effort into it because I can tell already this is not gonna go the way I want it to. Which is fine. We all work with different papers better than other papers. So because this paper is not really suitable for me and my style does not mean that it's terrible paper and that you shouldn't use it. So I don't want you thinking that's what I'm saying. You know, I mentioned earlier how nicely this paper blends. I'm not a big blender. I don't really like to blend a lot. I'll blend my underlayers and then I might blend for specific details, but I don't really paint like super soft work. But somebody who does is probably really gonna enjoy this paper. So, all right, I'm gonna just get my tree in here. Yeah, it's smearing everything underneath. This is really hard to work on. I can tell this is not a paper for me. And I don't like having to wipe my pastel off. Even here, like I just did 3 little strokes. Like it's carrying the pastel around. So I really need to keep like wiping it off between every single stroke I do. And that is just, I can't even do that like this right here. There's all these little lines in there. So yeah, this paper is not my favorite. Yes, you know, blending, even blending, it's picking up that layer underneath. I'm gonna keep fighting. I'm gonna keep working on this. I'm gonna get it. It might look a mess when I'm done though, but I'm gonna keep playing with it. All right, so this part where it's kind of picking up the pastel, I actually like, because it's helping me create this illusion of like broken grass. So that part is quite handy. So my really super soft pastels that I'm used to using to get some nice textures are not giving me those textures at all. So normally this is a super soft, this is a Great American. Normally I would just be able to like dab this on the paper and get a texture, and what's happening when I dab it, there's like no pastel there and it's picking the pastel up instead. So that I had to do a little twist to get any pastel down. So, okay, so it's I guess a different technique. I'm just doing a little twisty motion, but I don't always like having to do that because it creates a little bit of kind of a smear feeling, and that, you know, it just isn't, not as effective as just being able to dab in terms of creating kind of these textures. This is one of my favorite things to do with really soft pastels, is just dabbing them, and I cannot do that. All right, I'm just gonna come in with a little bit of a darker gray here now. Gray brown. Yeah, I hate this paper. I hate it. It's official, I hate it. Let me zoom in again on that. Okay. I might just be ending this lesson early. All right, so see the smearing, but the texture's still there. The paper texture. Like, you can still see the little grid of texture that's in there, and it's smearing so much. Like, this is the kind of smearing that I expect when the tooth is full, and that it's picking the pastel up. And if it's already full after just, you know, these few layers that I put down, that's really, really disappointing. You know, because you should be able to put a lot more layers down than that. And I don't know. I don't even want to keep going. This is terrible. It's ugly. I mean, I have to show you again. Like, look at that. And even from, I'm gonna move back. So obviously from this far away, you can't see it. From this far away, maybe it looks nice, but a lot of people get up close to paintings, and so I know it's not gonna show up on the camera, but I am, let me try and make this the same size that I'm seeing it in my eyeballs. All right, so this is about how big it is, and I am a good 4 feet away now. And you can still see that weird texture. So, all right, guys, this paper is an absolute no for me. Unless, like I said, you are someone that just wants to come in and blend and make everything dreamy and soft, it might work for you. But this gets 0 stars for me. I do not recommend this paper. So hopefully I stopped you from spending 25 bucks and buying this paper. If you still want to try it, at least you know kind of what some of the drawbacks are. So, all right, guys, I hope this was helpful for you, and I will see you next time. Bye.